The dark side of internet marketing. This isn't black hat, maybe gray hat, and the things I'm about to share with you are not illegal. They are aggressive and controversial. They might upset some people, and I don't necessarily recommend using them, but I do think they serve an important purpose in that they can make you think not just outside of the box, but outside the realm of everything you know of as online marketing. You might view these as a springboard from which you can get your own creative ideas for promoting your business. Not at a snail's pace, but at light speed. Just one idea like the one I'm about to show you can metamorphosize the right business literally overnight. Before we dive in, I'm going to assume you have identified your target audience and the channels to reach them. And you also have a value proposition, the benefit of using your product problem you're solving, and clear differentiation from competitors. Those are the basics. And here, now, are 3 examples of dark side internet marketing. Number 1, the Potstirrer. Let's say you've got a controversial topic that is being heavily debated by your target audience. For example, the presidential impeachment hearings in the US or Brexit in the UK. There are strong feelings on both sides, and it just so happens that your target group is within one of the groups in one of these debates. This is your opportunity. Go on all those discussion forums, Facebook groups, Twitter hashtags, and blog articles, and start posting comments that are contrary to the popular opinion. Key point here, for this to work, your opinions need to be just controversial enough to spark interest and discussion, but not so controversial that people will dismiss you as a troll and ignore you, or worse yet, not click your link. Be polite, not rude and aggressive, but be controversial. Have a blog post set up with an article providing support and credibility to your argument that is also, and pay attention here, packed with ads for your company's product. Obviously, this article is not going to be on your domain or even under your own name. You might even buy a domain for this purpose, such as UK should have quit EU years ago, .com, .net, or something along those lines. Create your post and generate 20 to 30 comments or discussions to make it appear active and give people the sense they need to join in on the argument. Every time you engage in a debate or on a third-party site or your VA engages in a debate, forward people to the relevant blog where they can see your evidence, quote-unquote evidence. Remember to place your ads on the blog. It should look like the ads just happen to be served by an ad network. The stronger people feel about the topic, the better. Depending on your product, you might even be able to make the post recommend the product. But again, it's got to look like a third party is doing this. Create a few more pages on this website to make it all look legit. Place your ads on those pages as well because why not, right? See what I mean by dark side marketing? It's legal, but is it legit? You decide. The point isn't to teach you this trick as much as it is to get your brain cells working, because when you see something that's entirely different than what you're being taught, something that works really well, by the way, it should fire you up to find your own unique ways of doing what you might call guerrilla promotions. That's Guerilla, guerrilla promotions. Number 2, create the story. We're always told in marketing to have a good story, and this is excellent primo, top-of-the-line advice too. But what if you're making the whole thing up? In 2010, The Chive was fighting for viewers just like every other struggling website. They could have tried traditional marketing or even PR, but what reporter is going to write an article about a site for guy humor stuff? They wanted eyeballs on their site, and this is how they did it. In October 2010, Leo and John Ressig, the brilliant guys at The Chive, posted a story that had all the characteristics of an internet sensation. Supposedly, some unnamed person sent them pictures of a gal named Jenny who was fed up with her boss's harassment. She decided to quit her job in a unique and entertaining way, and the headline read, "Girl quits her job on dry erase board, emails entire office," and then in parentheses, 33 photos. The story went viral, most likely because, number one, Jenny has a vulnerable girl next door look, and she was victimized by a jerk male. This was a winning story for men who want to be a savior to women, as well as women who hate womanizing men. Two, Jenny quit her job in a grand way, as many people wish they could. She's now a hero in the reader's eyes, and people are sharing the story when the boss isn't looking. Number three, they started a side discussion by misspelling a term, causing a debate. Yeah, I know that sounds silly, but it can be highly effective. HOPA, HPOA, which is it? What does it mean? Better jump into the debate and argue with others online about it. Number four, one of the dry erase boards referenced TechCrunch, saying the boss spent 5.3 hours a week on the site. Naturally, TechCrunch took notice and immediately did their own story, referencing the original The Chive story, causing even more buzz and traffic. Smart. And of course, the entire story was fabricated by The Chive. Mainstream media soon took up the story, linking back to the original The Chive article. Reports say The Chive saw traffic jump dramatically as a result of the story, from 15,000 uniques an hour to 440,000 the next hour. It struck a personal chord, garnering 238,000 Facebook shares and 31,000 tweets. Overall, it's estimated that millions of unique visitors were exposed to The Chive as a result of the story, and The Chive has since grown to be one of the biggest blogs in the space, if not the biggest. Notice that The Chive was never the story, at least not during the actual hoax. It was simply the platform on which the story took place. However, once the hoax was revealed, the creation of the hoax became the story, and The Chive got plenty of additional press and credibility twice. The first time was, of course, the initial hoax, and the second time was the story of how it happened. Do you want to fake stories? Maybe not. But can you pull pranks or hoaxes? Of course. Yes, maybe it is semantics, but it does work. Number three, and this one is my favorite, be the underdog. Let's say you're a small political party or maybe an underdog candidate trying to make it big. You need publicity and attention, but the media is focused on the big boys. What can you do? I can tell you what others have already done around the world. Create yourself an enemy. For example, post information that your website has been attacked. And of course, this isn't going to be good if you're a network security company, but okay. Plant hostile files on the site to complete the picture. Say that your database has been hacked into. File public complaints. Make it look like there is vibrant activity going on. People are plotting against you, and so forth. Sure, it sounds a bit silly and provocative, but it's important to understand that every spin of this type increases traffic by hundreds of percentages. That's hundreds of percentages at zero cost and almost no logistical effort. These are the rules of the game, whether we like them or not. How does this translate to your business? If you pitch your reporter a story about your new product, they're going to yawn in your face. But tell them you're the victim of some big unknown evil, or even better, a David fighting a Goliath, and the media will love your story. What happens anytime some organization boycotts a movie? Ticket sales go up. The harder they boycott, the more tickets are sold because of all the free publicity. Plus, people want to see the forbidden movie that everyone is now talking about. Every time the group called 1 Million Moms protests a movie, such as Toy Story 4 because two women in the background are dropping off a child at school, I'm not making this up, publicity runs swift and ticket sales soar. In fact, I've sometimes wondered if 1 Million Moms, which has approximately 89,775 members, math is not their strong point, I sometimes wonder if it isn't really a ploy to increase sales of certain products. If you should happen to make a lousy movie, put a scene in it that some group will hate enough to publicly boycott, and I can almost guarantee you'll make money. It gets even better if most people don't like the group doing the boycott. Not only do you get tons of free publicity, but people who normally would never see your movie or buy your product will do so now just to spite that group. I know, I've done it myself. One more quick story. And I like this story a lot. In a classic David versus Goliath tale, two young hippies named Ben and Jerry started an ice cream shop in 1978. By 1984, they had grown the business to $4 million in sales. Independent ice cream distributors started selling Ben & Jerry's in big grocery stores in Boston, and that's when the fight started. Haagen-Dazs, which I love Ben & Jerry and Haagen-Dazs, but Haagen-Dazs, owned at the time by $4 billion corporation Pillsbury, I don't know how to pronounce that, Pillsbury, didn't like the competition, but rather than compete in an open market, their game plan was to pressure distributors into refusing to carry Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Distributors were told that if they did not obey, there would be serious consequences. Sort of reminds you of the mob, doesn't it? Or even Microsoft. Ben & Jerry's was a young company with limited resources, and they were innovative. Finding the one thing that would give them a shot, they became the David to Pillsbury's Goliath. They launched a grassroots campaign printed on the pints of their ice cream called, "What's the Doughboy Afraid of?" If customers sent in $10, they could get a bumper sticker and a t-shirt with the rallying cry, "What's the Doughboy Afraid of?" on the front, and Ben & Jerry's Legal Defense Fund major contributor on the back. The customer-centered approach worked. The lawsuit was settled out of court, and the rest is history. None of these examples is meant to tell you what to do with your products or your company, but hopefully they've opened your eyes to a new world of possibilities if you will simply start thinking unconventionally about marketing. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to my podcast, The Dark Side of Internet Marketing. And you can visit my website as well, www.coralyn.com, coralyn.com, and subscribe to my free cutting-edge news magazine for online entrepreneurs called Digital Marketing Trends. And I also wanted to wish everyone a very happy and successful new year and new decade, 2020. May you have clear vision this year and this decade. And may you and your loved ones be blessed with health, wealth, joy, faith, hope, love, and peace. And this year, remember, it's good to model the success of others, but in the end, you need to be you. You need to show your customers and clients why you are unique and why they need to do business with you instead of your competitors. Seek wisdom, go with your gut. Success requires balance.